Hello, good evening, guys. Marcelo, Andrea, we're going to begin the class with you. I was about to do it by myself, but you are here. So today we have to cover like the last lesson of this unit, all right? It's unit 3, and this is the last lesson. Gerunds and infinitives is something we did before. The last lesson is going to be actually future time clauses. But this is very easy. You're going to see. This is a very simple lesson. So today we have to review first what infinitives and gerunds are. So I'm going to be asking these to, well, the three of you. I have Andrea, Marcelo, also Fernando joined, but let's begin with you this time, Marcelo. What do you remember about gerunds and infinitives?
Okay, good evening, teacher.
Hello.
We often use gerunds to say activities that we use that we used to do, but the verb goes with ing form, but it is not an a continuous form.
Very well. Great. Exactly. That's very important to recognize. Thank you very much, Marcelo. Many people, right, tend to like confuse, right, and to merge the ideas of gerunds, ing, and continuous forms, but they are not the same, right? If you want to use a continuous, a verb in the continuous form, or they call it the present participle, you need the verb to be, right? I am running. That is continuous form. But a sentence with running as gerund would be if you use running as the subject of that sentence, right? For example, running is a good activity. That's one sentence, and running is not continuous. Other sentence could be with another verb. For example, enjoy. I enjoy running. Running is not continuous. It's also gerund, right? Thank you very much, Marcelo. My next question goes for you, Andrea. Do you remember in which ways we use gerunds? I mentioned one of those, right? It could be as subject of a sentence, right? That's running is a good sport or a good activity. Running is my favorite, I don't know, activity, and so on and so forth. What are the other ways of using gerunds, or when do we use them, Andrea?
Good evening, teacher. We can use gerunds after some prepositions, maybe, um, after some verbs too.
Perfect. There you go. Exactly. Now, my question goes here. Both sentences, both ideas are correct, Andrea. But my question goes here. After some verbs is okay, because only some verbs are going to be followed by infinitive, right? That's correct. By, but is it only after some prepositions, or is it after all prepositions, Andrea? What do you say?
Maybe all prepositions, teacher.
Yes, in this case, exactly. Thank you very much. When that word, when that particle is going to be called preposition, yes, it's going to be with all prepositions without any exceptions. Remember that sometimes too, here, uh, give me a moment. I'm going to write example, I think, in your document. This is the document we're going to be working on today, all right? Future clauses. For example, sometimes to can be a preposition. This is to, right? To. When is it a preposition? After I want, to is not going to be a preposition. To is going to be part of the infinitive formula, right? I want to run. Here, to is not a preposition. To is, again, part of the infinitive, all right? Not a preposition. Then you have things like, for example, I, let's say, this is going to be a preposition. I'm looking forward, right, to. In this case, to is part of this expression, right? And when to is part of an expression, it's going to be considered preposition. That's why after to, when to is a preposition, the verb is going to be in ing form, right? Tomorrow morning. It's very important that you can take this into account, please. Sometimes to can be part of the infinitive. That's when it's not part of the verb, right? Want. You don't say want to, all right? That's not part of want. Want is only a verb. It doesn't need to. To is part of the expression with infinitive. Little by little, we're going to understand a little bit more. But this is a little bit tricky. Be careful with to. But the other prepositions are always like a preposition, right? Of, for, you have after, before, etc., etc. So as you mentioned, Andrea, is going to be after all prepositions, all right? So that's gerunds. We practiced with gerunds. But what we need to do today is practicing with infinitives. And let's give a quick review again of what infinitives are. Fernando, please, can you read the definition and when we use infinitives again, please?
Sure, teacher. Infinitive. Just as with gerunds, we use infinitives in specific situations. There are four main ways of using it. One, as the object of the sentence. Two, after specific verbs. Three, with another person that performs the action. And four, to talk about purpose.
Thank you very much, Fernando. Exactly, purpose, right? There you go. So four ways in which you can use the infinitive. Let's go to the first one. You know, infinitive is to plus the base form of the verb. For example, to eat. Let's remember that. One, subject. I'm going through this again. We already did it. Mariana, let's read this definition and explanation of subject, please.
Okay, teacher, good evening.
Hello.
Subject. Infinitives can be the subject of the sentence just as gerunds are. However, infinitives are more formal and common in writing English. Examples, to be or not to be. That is the question. To visit the Grand Canyon is my lifelong dream. To understand that statistics, that is our aim. To dance is my passion.
Thank you very much. That's going to be like statistics. All right, statistics. There you go. Thank you very much, Mariana. Now, on Wednesday, you gave me examples only speaking, but today we need to write these examples. So please, if you can, try to go again to Google Classroom and go to classwork, gerunds, and infinitives. In case you're having some problems with your internet connection and it's hard to get there, what I'm going to do is share this link. Okay, you have your names there. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to write two examples, all right? Two examples with infinitives as subjects. There you go. In the chat, you can find the link. Go there, please, and only write two examples with the infinitive as subject, as you have in the screen. And remember, it's okay to use gerunds, right, with ing, but here, please don't write examples with gerunds. Let's write the examples with infinitive. To plus the base form, right? To plus the base form. We have to use infinitives in this case, all right? This is the formula, right? To plus the base form. To eat, to drink, to dance, to go, right? To study, to learn, etc., etc.
Teacher, how can I say mi objetivo?
Very close. You have two options, my objective or my goal. One of those two, Andrea, okay? My objective or my goal.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so I'm going to start checking, right? So two sentences with infinitives. Let's begin with you, please, Daniela. Read the two examples that you wrote.
Good night, teacher. Okay.
Hello.
To sing in presentations with many people is her life passion. To walk in the street with his dog is his favorite hobby.
Okay, okay, seems to be okay. To sing in presentations with many people is her life passion. Great, this is the main idea. This is the infinitive. And to walk, the infinitive, in the street, the complement of that infinitive with his dog is his favorite hobby. There you go. Everything seems great, Daniela. Thank you very much. Marcela, let's go with you, please.
Okay, teacher. One, to forget to do my homework is my passion. And two, to begin a discussion is what I thought on.
Okay, good. The first one is really interesting, right? All right. So to forget, right, to do something, your passion, great. You have the infinitive there. And after forget, you have another infinitive. So double infinitive, it's possible. The first one is the subject, and the second one is the infinitive after the verb forget. All right. We're going to see some differences later on when to use forget to do and when to use forget doing. So far, it works great. To begin a discussion, right, or an argument could be, is what I settled on. Very good. All right. Discussion or argument. Very good. Thank you very much. Marcelo is like decided over there. Andrea, what about you?
Okay, teacher. To be a surgeon is my lifelong dream, and to study medicine in another country is my goal.
Very good. There you go. Right? You're talking about main things here. Perfect. The verb to be a is something for you. To study something is something for you. Perfect. And this is yours. Yes, Fernando. Let's go with yours, please.
To ride bike is my Sunday routine. To design in some specific softwares is something that I enjoy doing.
Okay, it seems great to ride. Usually, as bike can be bike, one bicycle, two bicycles. So usually, when it's possible to do that, it's always advisable and a good thing to add the F, right? To ride a bike is my Sunday routine. Very good. To design in some specific softwares is something that I enjoy doing. Perfect. You're mentioning infinitive over here, right? And you're mentioning gerund after enjoy, which works great. Thank you, Fernando. And let's go with you, Maria. Are you there, Mariana?
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Sorry, sorry. Um, I decided to buy another computer and to draw in my iPad is my passion.
Okay, it's good, right? Passion, good. Here, your sentence is okay, Mariana, but the first one is not the subject, right? What we need to practice now is writing an infinitive as the subject of your sentence, right? So in your first sentence, you don't have a subject, right? Like the infinitive. So to do that, Mariana, you can do the following. You can copy and paste this, decided, to the end, right? And you can say to buy another computer, then you put what? Sorry, you need a verb. So to buy a new computer is, and then you're going to use these words to connect. What? I decided. All right, so in this way, your subject is going to be to buy another computer. And this is going to be the verb and the complement. All right, Mariana, I don't know if you have questions about that.
Yes, teacher. I have. It's okay.
Okay, there you go. But the second seems to be great. To draw in my iPad is my passion. It's great. Thank you very much. I think I have all of the examples. I have not many people today. So let's go to the next part. That was one subject. All right. Your sentence was okay again, Mariana. It was great, but just because of the instruction. All right. Subject. Now, the second. Now you're going to use the verb in the way you did, Mariana. Second, let's read this one, please. Let's go with you, Daniela. Read number 2, please.
After specific verbs. Use infinitives after a specific list of verbs: ought, agree, decide, have, be obligated, hope, learn, manage, need, prepare, refuse, want, it, etc.
Etc. Good.
He agrees to do it again. We have to study for the exam. She wants to buy high heels. I was prepared to take the keys. Peter needs to read it again.
Thank you very much. Just this word, remember, quiz, right? The quiz. Perfect. You know this. You told me some, and you gave me some examples yesterday. If the main verb is afford, you need to use infinitive after afford. Afford to do, agree to do, decide to do, have to do, hope to do, learn to do, manage to do, need to do, prepare to do, refuse to do, want to do, etc. All right? So this is very easy. This verb, all right, these verbs can be in present, in past, in future. It doesn't matter, okay? They can be in present, past, and future. But after these verbs, all right, after these verbs, you have to use infinitives, all right? Look, this is present, and this is infinitive. It doesn't change. This is past, but you still use the infinitive, and it doesn't change. We worked this yesterday, so what you need to do now is the same. Please choose two different verbs and write two sentences in the same document, please. Let's do it. If you have questions, any questions, you can ask me. All right, most of you were able to finish, so let's check. If there are some words that you don't know very well, I'm going to help you out. So this time I'm going to try to begin from the last part. So, Mariana, let's begin with you this time, please.
Okay, Juan needed to sleep more than 8 hours, and we have to practice more for the test.
Perfect. There you go. Thank you very much, Mariana. No mistakes over there. Needed to sleep, have to practice, right? Past infinitive, present infinitive. Thank you very much. Then we're going to go. Don't worry, we're going to go back if I see that you're still doing it. And I'm going to go with you, Marcelo. Let's read your sentences, please.
Okay. They prefer to buy an apartment in New York. I love to travel. I think that it is one of my passions.
Okay, good. So you're using different verbs, but that use infinitive as well, right? That's perfect. Prefer to buy. Also, we can use ing, right? The gerund, but infinitive goes great here. Love to do something. Perfect. You're using the infinitive after verbs that allow infinitive over there. Thank you very much, Marcelo. Daniela, what about you?
I really want to travel to Hawaii for vacations. She refused to go to the last night discotheque.
Okay, good. So very few things to correct. The first one seems great, all right? I really want to travel to Hawaii. You have two options here. Sometimes the most common one is saying like on vacations, all right? That's going to be perhaps the best option, but it's good. The main thing, wants to travel. Perfect. She refuses, third person, that's great. To go, infinitive again, very good. And here, instead of this word, it's better if you use this, and you can omit that. you can say it's better nightclub. All right. Instead of that word, nightclub is going to be more common, right? To the last night, and you can use possessive there, right? And eliminate the article. She refuses to go to last night's nightclub. All right, it's the same idea, but this is the right word, Daniela. Thank you very much. And now I'm going back to you, Andrea.
Okay, teacher. She needs to study more if she wants to pass the test. And I want to visit my parents for their anniversary.
Yeah, very good. Yes, great. Needs to study. And you're using even some conditional, right? If she wants to pass, that's great. And you're also using wants to pass. So double infinitive. It's great. And I want to visit my parents for their anniversary. Great. Thank you. And Fernando, let's finish this up with you, please.
Okay, teacher. I agree to look for a new car. She has to be in our meeting.
There you go. Thank you very much, Fernando. It's great. Agree to do something. In this case, agree to look for or agree to search for, right, a new car. Great. And has conjugated third person with she and infinitive to be. Thank you very much. That's great. All right. So far, I think you have no big mistakes. Actually, they are great. It's easy for you. I can see that it's easy for you to work with infinitives, and that's great. One more time to the ones who joined the class, I'm copying and pasting the link of the documents. All right, so that you can go there and you can also write some examples after this. There you go. So let's continue. Two more. I don't know why it's loading. All right. Number 3. Let's work this one with you, please, Melissa, with another person.
Hi,
Hello, good evening.
person. When we wanted to expect someone to do something as a favor or a command, we use the infinitive before the action. Subject plus main verb plus subject plus infinitive plus complement. I want you to finish the quiz. She needs you to help her. They expected him to be on time. We pushed her to sing tonight, and John obligated them to speak Chinese in class.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Just one little thing. That word is going to be persuaded.
Persuaded. Okay.
Persuaded, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is when you want or when you expect someone in present to do something, or when you wanted or expected someone to do something, all right? This is something that you can use instead of some commands. Not all the time, but you can do it. This is very common in English. Please, you need to get used to using this structure. Please only use one of those 4 verbs. There are more verbs, but it's a special list for this kind of infinitive. But for this purpose, please, all of you only use one of these, well, 2 of these 4 verbs. Need, expect, persuade, and obligate. All right? Even want, you have 5. Want, need, expect, persuade, obligate. Use those 2 of those 5 and write 2 sentences, please, in the document. Go again to the document, please, and write 2 sentences with this structure. Subject, main verb, an object. I say subject so that you can know, right? But object, infinitive, and complement. Let's work, please. All right, so let's begin checking some of your examples. Let's begin with you, please, Daniela. Write your examples, or read them, please.
He wants her to make a surprise for her birthday. He needs her control her stress for the work.
Okay, in the second one, right, in number 6, I think here it's she needs to control her, right? Or what did you mean over there? Because you have like double time her, right? You have she needs her, control her, but we need to organize that idea. The first one is great, right? She wants to make a surprise for her birthday. But here also, right? She wants her to make a surprise for her birthday. It's good. You have this, you have the verb, you have the object or the subject, and you have the infinitive. But this one over here, perhaps it would be like this, right? She needs her to control her stress for the work. It sounds better, but you always need to use then this structure, Daniela. It's always going to be like this. You have one subject, you have one verb, you have this object that is the subject that I said here, and the infinitive, right? So it was missing the infinitive over there, Daniela. I don't know if it's, do you have any questions about that?
No, teacher, yes, I forget.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Daniela. Let's go with you, Marcelo.
Okay. Barcelona needs Lionel Messi to score all soccer games. Pandemic obligated teenagers to pass class online.
Okay, great. You have the verb, you have one specific object in this case that is going to be like another subject, and to score. All right. And perhaps you can say here, sometimes it's not like a thing you need to do, like in or on all soccer games, but like that works very well. Great. And pandemic or the pandemic could be in this case. All right. Obligated, very well. Teenagers to pass online classes. Would be better if you say it that way, Marcelo, like to pass online classes.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Perfect. Melissa, let's go with you, please.
Okay, my mom obligated me to use this dress, and today I need you to repair my bathroom, please.
Okay, very well, good. Something that your mom, right, made you do. In this case, use a dress. Perfect. And you are asking like something to do, right, to someone, but in a polite way, and that's great. Today, I need you to repair my bathroom, please. Thank you very much, Melissa. It
Thank
works
you,
great.
teacher.
Andrea, what about you?
Okay, teacher. They need you to buy some medicines for them, and my parents obligated me to study in the same school.
Okay, good. Very well, right? The first one, someone else is asking a favor, well, or is asking something to do to someone else. And in the second one, the same situation, but it's a little bit stronger, right? Obligated. There you go. Thank you very much, Andrea. Again, I see no mistakes over there. Fernando, what about your examples?
Mhm. Okay, teacher. He obligates you to drive all night. We want you to explain us your last idea.
All right, there you go. It works great. Again, the first one is stronger, right? Obligated you to do something. And the second one is like not that strong, but also you're expecting someone from somewhere. That's great, right? Wanted you to explain. Thank you very much, Fernando. And let's finish this with you, Mariana.
They obligated him to practice more in the pool and they expected her to play best.
Okay, good. That in that last part, perhaps best is like the best, right? Perhaps you can in this idea you are wanting a little bit more from that person. So sorry, I don't know why it's up there. In your example, instead of best, I would change that to the comparative better, Mariana. All right, like that. They expected her to play better, or you can even change the idea and you can say they expected her to do her best. In that way, perhaps you can use best. All right, there you go. Perfect. If you have any questions, let me know. In general, all your sentences, as I mentioned before, are going perfect. And this is the last one, the last use of infinitive. And I'm going to please ask you, Fernando, to read number 4, purpose.
Purpose. When we do an action with a specific purpose, we use infinitives. In this case, to has the same meaning as in order to. I have to study in order to pass the course. She does exercise in order to feel better. They come here in order to buy a house. We have to live in order to be happy.
Thank you very much, Fernando. In this case, you don't have like requirements, all right? You need one idea and you have to tell me what is the purpose, all right? What is the purpose? Purpose is like your goal, your objective, why you are doing something, right? You can say, I'm studying English, and what is in parentheses, all right? What is in parentheses can be deleted. So you can say, I am studying English to travel to the US, right? To travel to the US. I want to study French to go to France, right? So it's your purpose, it's your goal, it's what you want to get when you do the first action. So the structure is you need one action and you need to tell me what you want to get with that action or what's your purpose by doing this action. All right, let's try to work with this, please. Again, two more exercises, the last exercises for infinitives, and we finish this lesson. Two more, please. any ideas you want and use infinitives as purpose. Great. I see that most of you have finished. Again, you're doing a great job with infinitives. I can see that. Daniela, let's begin with you, please. Read your two examples.
I need to dance to feel relaxed and happy. We go to the park to hang out with friends.
Okay, very good. Only one little detail. Instead of relax, you're going to say relaxed. All right, to feel relaxed and happy. Good. You need to do that. The purpose is to feel relaxed and happy. Great. And you go to the park with which purpose? To hang out with your friends, right? Or with friends. Perfect. Thank you very much, Daniela. Marcelo, let's go with you.
Okay. We need to complete this exercise to pass to the other topic. I'm getting better. I'm getting better my pronunciation to talk with Native Americans.
Okay, Native Americans. Okay, great. Perfect, Marcelo. In the first one, your purpose is, well, doing this thing to pass to the other topic. And it's great how you're using here, the other topic, right? Or the next topic. Great. And I'm getting, I think here, perhaps it was just like a mistake of spelling, right? So
Sorry.
there you're going to change it to pronunciation, right? To, and here my recommendation, all right, sorry, I'm going to write it like that, is that instead of here, well, they're giving that, but here, instead of talk, remember, when you're talking about that, it's better to say speak, right? Very good. And getting better, remember, you are good at something or you are better at something. So you can say at, all right? So I'm getting better at my pronunciation or with my pronunciation to speak with native American, and perhaps you can add one thing because sometimes they can confuse Native Americans with like natives who live there, right? In the sense, for example, like indigenous. So it's better if you say like Native American speakers.
Okay.
All right, Native American speakers or a native English speakers. That would be also another good option. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Marcelo. Melissa, let's go with you, please.
Teacher, I don't know if my second example is okay, and it's missing one word that is doesn't like, o sea, quería decir no le gusta la antigua, o sea, como que la comida antigua, pero I'm going to read them, okay?
Okay, do it. I'm going to help you out.
Okay, the first one is every day I meditate to feel in peace with myself. And my second example is my mom needs to buy a new food for my dog because Rex doesn't like. Y ahí iba a poner el anterior o algo así.
All right, so I'm going to help you. The first one is great, right?
Okay.
Every day, comma, right? I meditate. You can add that in terms of working with writing. It's going to help you a lot. Every day, comma, I meditate to feel in peace with myself. I saw other examples. I didn't correct them, but if you want to add that, it's going to be great. Now, in the second example, first let's correct. But second one, we're going to see if we are using this purpose or not. If you want to say like your idea, Melissa, you should say the old one.
Yeah.
All right. So instead of foot, to not repeat that idea, you use one, right? One replaces foot. But here, let's make some other corrections. This is great. My mom needs to buy. Foot is not countable, Melissa. So that's why we are not going to use a. All right. Only new foot. My mom needs to buy new food for my dog because Rex is great, doesn't like the old one. Your sentence is great, but here we are not using purpose. If you realize you have my mom needs to buy, this is infinitive, but this is not purpose.
My
Right.
idea, sorry, teacher, was that in order to Rex eat the food because Rex doesn't eat the food because doesn't like it.
Okay. So
That was my idea.
we need to organize a little bit better. Your sentence is great. This is like a compound sentence and it's great. All right. It's a great sentence, Melissa. But if we want to use that idea, you can say something like that. Yes, my mom needs to buy new food to make my dog or to make Rex, right? Eat. You can say something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Very short, but in this case, I'm using purpose.
Yeah.
Right? And again, your sentence is good, but you were not using the purpose. There you go, Melissa.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about that correction?
No, that's clear. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you. And Andrea, let's go to you, please.
Okay, teacher, I have to study German to travel to Germany. She needs to eat healthy in order to be in shape.
There you go. Good. Right? That's a really good expression, to be in shape. That's really like native, right? Great. Have to study to do what? To travel to Germany. To eat healthy in order to be in shape. There you go. No corrections over there, Andrea. Thank you. And Fernando, let's go with you, please.
He works hard to have a good lifestyle. Sorry. They train every day to win the championship.
There you go. Perfect, Fernando. Again, I see no mistakes. They do something to, well, the goal is to have a good lifestyle and they train every day. The purpose to win the championship. Thank you very much. No mistakes over there. And Mariana, let's finish this up with you, please.
I have to practice my aim to play better in the basketball championship, and I do swimming in the morning to be less stressed in the afternoon.
Okay, good. I practice swimming, great, in the morning to be, that's the purpose, right? To be less stressed, right? or to be more relaxed in the afternoon. Perfect. No mistakes over there as well. Thank you very much, guys. We're finishing infinitives and gerunds with this. Gerunds is something that you already practiced, right? That's why we only like reviewed gerunds. Try to go to the last, let's say, module to practice and to remember a little bit of gerunds. I'm going to try to practice this with you also, let's say, in the private conversations. But the most important part here was infinitives. You got it. Do you have any questions? Please let me know. To go to the next topic, which is going to be the last lesson, very short. But just to tell you, in the document that you have in Google Classroom, we have this. This is a list, all right, that has perhaps not all, but the most important verbs that you use with infinitives and with gerunds. If you really want to be good at this is not like an official web page. I was looking for Cambridge, for Oxford, but they don't give you like a very specific list. If you have a book, it would be great. With this course on Pearson, you're going to see this later on. But I was checking this web page and it's great. Even if this is not official and it's not like the best web page, the way they organized the gerunds and infinitives is great. Sorry, that's not. As you can see, you have some verbs, you have the definition of those verbs, and some examples with all of them. You have verbs that you use with infinitives, all right, with perhaps 90% of the infinitives, perhaps 85%. And then you have the same with gerunds. So, well, this one was with gerunds and this one with infinitives. All right, so if you want, you can go there to that link and check more verbs. Those verbs are verbs that are used before infinitives and before gerunds, as you can see over here. All right, take a look at that. That's for you. And for extra practice, as I always do, you have another list of links in which you can practice your skills with gerunds and infinitives. Okay, so again, that's everything that you have there is on Google Classroom. So I'm finishing this lesson if you don't have more questions. And I'm going to the new one. As I told you, it's a very simple one, but it's very important to check this out. Let's try to work with this, like, not quickly, but let's go in a very fast pace to practice a little bit more after this. And Melissa, let's read the definition of future clauses, please.
Okay. Future time clauses are dependent clauses that must be joined to independent main clauses. It's customary to use the future in the independent clause and the present tense in the dependent time clause. Do not use the future in the time clause.
All right. I know that by the definition you say, but what's this? We are going to see some examples. And here, even though this is simple, many people make lots of mistakes here. Why? Because they use future in future time clauses. But that's all right. That's not going to be the case. We are not going to do that. Like this. Let's read these examples, and I'm going to go with you. Let me see if we're here. Daniela, let's read these examples, please.
When the movies ends, I'll go to bed, correct? When the movie will end, I'll go to bed, incorrect. I'll feel more relaxed after I finish my project, correct? I feel more relaxed after I will finish my project, incorrect.
There you go. So this is something, thank you very much, Daniela. This is something that many people do. They say, when I will, incorrect. In the when clause, you don't use future, all right? You're never going to use future over there. It's going to be always present, and the next clause is going to be in future. When the movie ends, I'll go to bed, right? When I finish my career, I'll go to the US. When I learn English, right? You don't say when I will learn English. No. When I learn English, comma, right? I will apply to scholarships. All right, so be careful, please. Don't use future in the when clause. Oh, well, you're going to see when is only one of those expressions. You have many future clauses that use these time expressions, and all of them are with present. Let's keep looking at which ones are those future time clauses, which are these ones. And let's go with you, please, Marcelo. Can you read the future time clauses?
Okay. When, before, after, as soon as, until.
Thank you very much. So in the same way you used it before, here, you use the same way. For example, you can say, the meaning can change, but you can say, after the movie ends, I'll go to the bed. You can say this one before. The sense is a little bit different, but the sentence is correct. Before the movie ends, I'll go to bed. As soon as, the same, right? As soon as the movie ends, I'll go to bed. And until, that again changes the meaning, but until the movie ends, sounds weird, but the sentence is correct, I'll go to bed. So you can use all these expressions, right, time expressions, in future time clauses. This is the structure and the formula. So, Fernando, let's read this structure, please, Fernando.
Structure. We use the present tense to talk about future times. The future tense is used in the main clause. The present simple tense is used in the time clause. Future tense, main clause plus when, after, before, etc. plus present tense, time clause. The example, I will travel to Europe when I finish my career.
Thank you very much, Fernando. There you go. Please don't forget this. The first part in this case is the opposite, right? Here, when is at the beginning, here, when is in the middle. But the sentence that you write after when is the sentence that is always going to be in which tense? Present. Here, look, when the movie ends, present. Here, when I finish my career, present. And the other clause is the future tense. I will travel to Europe. All right, so this is the normal order, quotation marks, okay? This is the regular, the normal order of the sentence. I will travel to Europe when I finish my career. And remember, you can use when, you can use after, before, etc., etc. Now, I'm going to show you many examples, and after this, we're going to work by writing some of them. So let's read these examples over here, not all of them, but these examples, Mariana, let's read these two examples, please.
Okay. Tom will turn off the lights when he leaves the office. They will do the shopping before we arrive.
Thank you very much. So you have the incorrect way, right? Always. The first part is going to be future when it's the time clause. Then you have the expression here, right? When he leaves, this has to be in present. The one that is next to when, present. The one that is next to before, present, right? Andrea, let's read the next three examples, please.
Okay, teacher. She will go running after it stops raining, not after it will stop raining. The nurse will wait until the ambulance arrives, not until the ambulance will arrive. The operation will begin as soon as the patient is ready, not as soon as the patient will be ready.
Very good. Only two words, Andrea, it's great, but it's going to be like ambulance, right? Ambulance, and this is going to be like patient, right? Patient. Great. The next or the rest of it was great. Now let's practice this. You have the examples here. I think the examples are very clear, right? Future, when, before, after, until, as soon as, and the present tense. So I'm going to send you a different document that is just right here. I have it ready. Again, please, it's going to be in the chat. You're there already, I think. No, you're not there yet. So please go to this link that is in the chat. I'm setting this for everybody. Give me a second. All right. So some of you are already here. Please, you have to write 2 examples. Only 2 examples. You're going to choose if you're going to write examples with when, with after, with as soon as, with before, etc., etc. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Only 2 examples, please. All right, remember the formula, please. Future tense plus when, after, before, as soon as, plus present tense. All right, that's the formula. All right, so we're going to start checking some of the examples. Some of you were able to finish. So, Mariana, let's begin with you, please.
Okay. I will practice tennis when I finish my homework and clean my house. The pool will be clean for the morning when people arrive.
Thank you very much. Correct, right? You're using when, but you know, Mariana and all of you, you can use any of these other like expressions, right? You can use up here when, before, after, as soon as, until. But in terms of structure, the sentence is great. Thank you very much, Mariana. And let's go with you, I think, Fernando.
I will speak English better when I finish the course. He will do the correct after after the life teaches him.
Okay, okay, good. Like, what do you mean here? In this is my question. The first one looks great. Future when I finish, great. He will. The structure is great. You have future, then you have after. The life teaches him, and it's great. Okay, instead of the correct, I mean, I think there what you mean, Fernando, is the right thing. All right. Like in English, we're not going to say like the correct. We are going to say the right thing. All right. He will do the right thing, like this right over here, this one over here. I'm going to write it in the just in the next to the exactly, right? And this right. All right. The right thing. There you go. Right? Because sometimes correct we use it more like corrections or that's correct, right? You are right. That's correct. But when we're talking about like the good thing to do, right? It's better to use that expression, the right thing. Great. Thank you very much, Fernando. It works great that well. Thank you. Andrea, what about you?
Okay, teacher. And the class will start when the students arrive, and I will travel with my friends as soon as the pandemic finishes.
Okay, there you go. Good. Future when present, future as soon as present. Perfect. There you go. Marcelo, let's go with you, please.
Okay. I'll eat something before I do my homework, and they'll meet as soon as they clean his whole house.
Okay, okay, good. Future before present. They'll meet like they'll meet up, right? They reunite, perhaps. Good. They'll reunite, they'll meet as soon as they clean his, perhaps, I don't know, his
Oh,
is only for one, right? It could be perhaps their in that specific case, right? They cleanse their whole house. Okay, good. It works over there. Thank you very much. Daniela, let's finish with you, please.
My best friend will go to Rome before she works. His girlfriend will drive to work to the hospital when he plays soccer.
Thank you very much. Future, then you have before and present. Okay, we'll go to run before she works. Great. And his girlfriend would drive future to work to the hospital when and present, right? He plays soccer. Okay, he's going to drive to work to the hospital when he plays soccer. Perhaps the idea is a little bit confusing, but the structure itself works there, Daniela. Thank you. I think you don't have problems with this. You can manage this very well. So we have things to work. We still have like 15 minutes, even more. But please, I know that some of you need to leave, right? For example, you told me, Andrea, Marcelo. So before you leave, please, in case you're going to leave, it's important that you can complete the poll. So please, I'm going to ask you a big favor to all of you, Marcelo, I think Mariana, you're also there, Daniela. Please, let's complete the poll right now, and we're going to continue with the class. But it's just in case you need to leave. Let's complete it now, and we continue with the class, please, with these 15 minutes. It's just because some of you perhaps are going to leave the class. It's loading. Okay, there you go.
Teacher, sorry, my internet was too poor and I can listen very well. Can you repeat, please?
Yes, yes, please, Mariana, right? We're going to continue like with the classes, all right? There are 15 more minutes. We're going to continue, but please complete the survey because some of your partners need to leave, and I need you to complete this survey before they leave. All right?
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think the five of you did it. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. Really, I really appreciate that. That's something that they check. All right. So I really need to have that over there. So with that done, thank you again. Let's continue with the class. Now, we are over here. And let me close this. We have one last thing about time clauses, okay? Future time clauses. Again, I told you, very easy. Once you know how to write sentences with when, before, after, as soon as, until, you can do the same, but try to add some variety. So instead of only using those, you have also these options. Once, immediately, the moment, the minute, and you don't say at the moment, okay? You only say the moment. You only say the minute. You don't say in the minute. The day and by the time. The logic is exactly the same. All right, the logic is exactly the same. As you can see in some examples. Now, let's read these ones one more time, please. Daniela, read other future time expressions.
Other future time expressions. We use this other expression in the same way as the previous ones. Once, immediately, the moment, the minute, the day, by the time.
Thank you very much. A little bit just the, sorry, the pronunciation of the second expression is going to be immediately, right? Immediately. Great. Let's check how we use them. The same way. As you can see, it's exactly the same way that you used when, as soon as, after, before. So let's read the first two examples, please, Fernando.
Tony will call the restaurant the moment he gets home. I will contact you once I receive an estimate.
Perfect. Perfect. There you go. The same idea, right? Once, the moment. This is only for give you more variety. And of course, you can use some of them in more specific situations, but they were perfectly over there. And Mariana, please, let's read these two last examples over here.
You will be notified the minute your order arrives, and it will be dark by the time we arrive home.
Thank you very much. There you go. And those are the other options. All right, those are the other options. This is like the second part. I'm going to let you know that. Now, actually, let's go here. Remember that when you talk about clauses, you have two options. You can use like the normal quotation marks, okay? The normal. It's not the normal order, but I call it like that. You can use this order that you know, future plus when, after, before, the minute, the day, as soon as, etc., plus present. For example, we are going to the party as soon as you get here. And the inversion is the same idea. It's exactly the same, but you start with the expression when, after, before, the minute, and so on, plus present, plus comma. Here you need comma, all right? Plus future tense. For example, before it starts raining, comma, I'll go for a walk. So what I want you to do, please, now is working with this inversion. All right? Write only, yes, two sentences, okay, please. Two ideas with inversion. And try to use the new words, please. Fernando, Daniela, Mariana. You can use the moment, the minute, all right? You can use, and actually I'm going to copy them and paste them here so that you can watch them at the same time. And it's going to be here. These words. I want you to use these words, please, with this order. All right, with this specific order, let's work this structure. If you have questions, please, you can let me know. I'm doing this so that you can have all the information over here. All right, so you can use one, you can use immediately, you can use the moment, the minute, the day, or by the time, and you have to use this structure. Let's work, please. If you have questions, let me know. All right. And please, at least in one of your sentence, try to use one of these verbs instead of when, after, before, right? Try to use one of these, once, immediately, by the time, etc. And to give you more idea, it will be like that. There you go. All right. Also, one thing, remember that here we are still using the present tense, but only like the simple present tense, right? We're not using like present continuous. So sometimes if you say these ideas in the present continuous, it's going to sound a little bit weird. It works sometimes, but sometimes it sounds weird. All right, so let's try to use like only like the present tense, not the continuous. Okay, so I'm going to start checking. Just one last thing, in case you can make some corrections. Remember, this is the formula. You can use one immediately, the moment, the minutes, the day, by the time. Present, okay, a sentence in present tense, comma, a sentence in future tense, period. All right, so the second sentence, or well, in this case, grammatically speaking, the second clause is going to be future. All right, first clause, present, second clause, future. So let's go there. Let's begin checking this idea. And I'm going to go with you. Yes, Mariana, let's read your examples, please.
Okay, teacher, I don't know that it's correct, but when the match is starting, I will go for the popcorn. And before the sun is shining, I will go for the block.
Okay, first I'm going to make some corrections in that part, right? It's okay you're using when before, but as I told you, just to practice, it's better if we use this time, Mariana, one of these expressions. Don't use when, don't use before, use once, immediately, the moment, the minute, the day, by the time, just to practice, all right? But because in the sense of being good or bad, let's say, it's good. When the match, and here, as I told you, let's not use the continuous form because it's not going to sound correct in this specific, okay, situation. Directly present, all right? Present tense, simple present tense would be starts. And as I told you here, you need to use comma, all right? When this is at the beginning, you have to use comma. So when the match starts, comma, I'll go for the popcorn. But here, as I told you, just to variate or to vary a little bit, all right, you can use once, immediately, the moment, the minute. So for example, you can say the minute, and that's it, all right? To give a little bit more like variety. The minute the match starts, I'll go for the popcorn. Here, good. The before the sun shining is continuing and shining is gerund. But here we don't need gerund and we don't need continuous. We need simple tense, right? And the simple tense is only the correction shines. All right. Before the sun shines, comma, very good. I'll go for the block. All right. And here, what do you mean with a block in this case, Mariana?
Bloqueador in Spanish, but
Oh,
I don't know what type. Sun cream.
you can say that exactly. Okay, the sunscreen, good. And this one, before it's okay. And here I wouldn't change before, but remember, Mariana, that you have many more options. You can say once, immediately, the moment, the minute, the day, by the time. So instead of before, I would use by the time. That is very similar here. All right, it's very similar to
Oh,
before. So I would change this to by the time the sun shines, comma, I'll go right for the sunscreen. It means that before this happens, you will do this. Do you have any questions, Mariana?
no, teacher, it's clear.
Okay, again, just one thing that you need to remember, and it's always going to be great, Mariana. The first part in this case is going to be present, simple present, all right, the simple tense, comma, and the second part is always going to be future. All right, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Fernando, let's go with you.
Okay, teacher. Once we finish the game, we will run around the field before the light has turned off.
All right, and the next one, please.
Okay. Immediately he starts the exam, we will open the books to help him before his time finished.
Okay, now let's analyze these ideas. Let's remember something. Sometimes we can use present perfect. We're going to learn those structures. So let's analyze from the first part. Once we finish the game, comma, that's perfect, present, right? Comma, the second part should be future, and it's great. We will run around the field, and you are adding an extra clause, right? So you're adding something extra, which is good. But in this case, to keep the idea, you can keep this with have, right? Because you say the lights, before the lights have turned off, or to keep this idea and to keep the flow of what we're doing, Fernando, present, future, it's better if we keep this idea in present because it's after before. All right, and you can say turn off only. So it's valid sometimes to say present perfect, but in this specific situation, we can keep the idea of simple present. So once we finish the game, comma, we will run around the field before the lights turn off, right? So you're using double idea here, once and before, which is correct. Sentences can be complex, right? Ideas can be complex. Immediately he starts the exam, all right, there you go. We will open the books to help him, and you have another clause, right, which is again good. But before his time finished, no, in this case, you can use sometimes the present perfect or simply the present, right, before his time finishes. All right, so after these clauses, before, after, most of the times it's either going to be present tenses or in some situations, present perfect, which is this one, have turned. But we're going to learn very well. But more or less, this is the logic, Fernando. I don't know if you have any questions about this.
Mm, Teacher, in the part I wrote the lights. If it might if it might be only light
You can
without
use
the s, it is with has.
exactly has, and this one is going to be turns.
Is it if it is plural, it changes to have.
Exactly. This is part of the present perfect rule. Here, you see, I changed this to have, and this is with blue. Do you see? And if I click right, lights. All right. So plural with have, singular with has.
With has.
Exactly. But in this case, again, this is possible, but I would advise in this first time to explore, it's okay, but you can keep this in present only. So instead of have turned off, you can only say turn off. All right, but the idea is there. But yes,
Teacher,
you're right. Tell me.
The meaning in Spanish in both options. For example, the first one, have turned off in past en
That's
español
going to be very
han
close.
sido apagadas, but
very
only
close.
turn off ante las luces se apaguen. ¿Sería?
Exactly.
Se apaguen.
Yes, correct. All right, correct. That's why sometimes the most common one is only in present, Fernando, because it sounds more natural over here. But in some cases, in very specific cases, this is going to be the best option. All right, and the same here. It finishes, and not here. We're not going to use simple past, only like the present. All right.
Okay, teacher. It's
There
good.
you go.
Perfect.
No, thank you, Fernando. And let's finish, please. I know we're more time, but we have actually until 9:20. One more minute. Daniela, let's read your two sentences, please.
The moment that her boyfriend get angry, I can't read. She left the place. The day of her marriage, she make up by herself.
Okay, good. Just one little thing. Remember the formula very, very quickly, Daniela, is the expression plus a sentence or a clause in present, comma, and a clause in future. All right. The second one has to be in future here, Daniela. So the first one is good. The moment that her boyfriend gets, all right, because her boyfriend is third person, right? The moment that her boyfriend gets angry, comma, here you need future. She will leave the place, all right, future. And here, the day of her marriage, but here after, this is one thing, Daniela, this idea is correct, but you need future tense, all right? And to use future, after the day, you need a clause. And a clause, Daniela, is going to be subject, verb, and possible complement. All right, so you can say the day she gets married, like saying el día que ella se case, the day she gets married, she will, and future, right? She will make up by herself. It works great. But again, the idea is the expression, the day, the clause in present, she gets married, comma, and the clause in future. That's the structure that we need to use. Do you have any questions about that, Daniela?
Okay, teacher, no. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Again, we used a little more time, but thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. That's it for today. Remember that right now, after this, after I close this, I'm going to assign the second quiz. All right? And you're going to have until Monday to take it. Please take your time to take it. It's going to be today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday until 11:59 to take the second quiz. Okay? That's it. Any questions before finishing? Let me know.
No, teacher, thank you.
Perfect. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you and see you Monday.
Bye,
See you.
teacher. Thank you. Take
Good
care.
night.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.